Hi guys. So I got a lot of responses from the last video, and predominantly the question I'm getting is, okay, cool, that's all nice, and what the hell is compassion? And what does it look like in relationship to myself? How do I anchor compassion to my self-talk? What does mindfulness look like right now, given everything that's going on? So again, for the sake of trying to make it accessible and easy to understand, I'm breaking it down into 3 points. And for the sake of understanding, mindfulness does mean to see things clearly. And why we're practicing mindfulness is so that in seeing things clearly, we're able to respond effectively. So for a lot of us, our fears are coming up, our shadow is coming up, our anxieties are coming up. We're asking ourselves questions around scarcity, around health, around safety, around community, all of it. And we really are getting to look at those old structures and those old beliefs and really get to decide whether they serve us anymore or not. So the first thing is, if you are triggered, if you are anxious, if you are overwhelmed, if any of the above, the first thing is to notice it. And when you notice it, to show up from a place of kindness. So if you're feeling anxious, instead of the response being, oh my God, I need to busy myself because I'm anxious, or, hey, it's so annoying that you're always getting so anxious, or resistance to that experience, witness it and acknowledge it. So it could sound something like, for me, it sounds like, oh, honey, you're suffering. That's the acknowledgement of it. So notice it, identify it, acknowledge it with kindness and with curiosity. So what's there for me? Why am I anxious? What's coming up for me? The second, once you identify it, and you can do it now or you can do it in the moment that it comes up, actually close your eyes and focus on somebody that you really, really, really love, whether it's a family member, a child, a friend, whoever that person is, that you just, when you think about them, it really does inspire ease and connection. And if that person were to show up right now and tell you, hey, I'm really struggling right now, a lot of my anxiety is coming up, I don't know what to do, I'm scared. How, as friend, like the message that you would want to communicate is, how can I support you? I'm on your side. And immediately that consciousness inspires kindness, inspires support. You immediately want to open yourself up to loving them. And from that shift in consciousness where you're able to access that kindness for another, then shift and focus it on you. You are the person who's showing up to you now going, hey, I'm anxious, I'm hurting, I'm freaking out. And you now having accessed that person in your brain, you're able to have the visceral response, the emotional response of kindness towards self now, because you've activated it in thinking of someone you care for. So visualize that person and then internalize that kindness and that compassion towards self. And then finally, I believe the term is called comic humanity, and what that means is taking a moment to think about everyone who's sharing in your experience. Why? Because when we suffer and when we hurt, what we tend to do is isolate. And our ego goes into the story of, I'm alone, nobody gets it. When really, in you focusing on, there are other people who share this experience, not only are you able to send them compassion, but you're able to really get that you aren't alone. Whether the experience is, right now I'm getting a divorce, or right now my business is crumbling, or right now I'm concerned and worried for my health or the health of somebody I love, you aren't alone in it. And you taking the time to really contemplate that and focus externally on people who are sharing in that experience keeps you from going into the narrative of I'm alone, and I'm isolated. So those are 3 steps for really anchoring compassion to our self-talk. The first is really coming towards your emotion, your trigger, from a place of kindness and curiosity. The second is to visualize that person you care about and accessing compassion by having that shift in consciousness. And the third is the comic humanity, the how are other people having the same experience, and where can I create connection and know that I'm not alone. So those are 3 steps that you can practice right now. Again, you're welcome to ask questions. You can direct message me. You can drop a comment. I constantly say that we rise together, and I think now more than ever that's especially relevant. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I'm holding you in love. You are certainly not alone in this, and you can absolutely lean this way. Lots of love.